Okay, so we're back, and I'm going to show you how to build these doors. Now, one of the reasons why I like to have all these shapes is because sometimes if you have to back out, that kind of stuff, you end up running into problems. Sometimes that nice little doorway that you know how to create doesn't want to create, and I don't really know why. But anymore, I'm learning to just set everything up and just move on until I figure out why it does that. So I'm just thinking, if I want to get this even, I'm going to go ahead and try and make the inner panels of the door. And you're going to want to make them just slightly bigger than the door. Zoom in so we can see what we're working with. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You want to, because I'm looking right at my door, it's about halfway. You can go crazy in the designs if you want, or you can just make it simple and have 4. Every door is a little different. But just to show you what I'm going to do next. Oops. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to bevel it. And I really don't like the way that looks. Or that. So we know 1's too high. That looks about right. So now we're going to go ahead and make 4 of these. But before I do that, I want to make sure that this looks good. And that's about what I'm looking for. Maybe I can scale it slightly. I just kind of turn it to look at my angles. So I have what I'm looking for, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it. So Control C, Control D. I'd probably mess with maybe the top 2 first. Kind of get it where I want it. See if it looks right. I'm looking up just to make sure that that's what my door kind of looks like. So I'm going to group these, Command G, and then Control C, Command D. Well, it should be Command for Macs, but I watch too many videos that are done in Windows. So that's what we're looking at right now. I might just bump it up just slightly. Okay. Now the door looks a little bit square, and you know, instead of working backwards, maybe I should have done this first, but I did remember. So with this, you bevel it too. And let's see, we will do 0.100. It kind of has a nice look to it. It is slightly thick, which means I'm going to need to group everything to get this to work. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Just shift click everything. Make sure all sides are selected. Command G, R the scale. I need to zoom out because it's not centered. But I'll show you center pivot. There we go. That right there is a big issue. If you don't center pivot, it's going to go all over the place. So that looks like the thickness of a door. Making sure I'm still recording. So to build the doorknob, I'm going to put it in X-ray mode because most of the shapes you select end up going into the dead center. So get yourself a circle. Move it out here. And what you want to do is shape it to look like a doorknob. So there is the doorknob, and like I said, you can get fancy with this if you want and do just about whatever you want as far as the style of it. But considering I only have about 15 minutes left, we gotta try and make this work. So we want this thing to basically flip this way. So we're going to do a 90-degree rotation. And obviously it didn't work because it's turning this way, so it didn't change. So you got to flip it the other axis, the other way, like that. So we scale this down. So that's what we're working with right now. I'm just going to move it in place to Make sure I have it correct. Now this is where all these numbers over here are great. If you are pretty good at figuring all that out, you can plug all that information in without really doing anything I'm doing right now. But like I said before, I really don't quite know what I'm doing, but I make it work. So I'm thinking I honestly need a little bigger. That looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and move that in. You can see here it's somewhat inside of it. And there you go, you got your little doorknob. So what I do next is make sure I select doorknob and not everything else, and then we Command G, group it. Gotta do that center pivot because it's way over here, and then we scale it down. Now it's moving because I'm not selecting the right one. There we go. Oh wow. That's alright, we'll make that work. So we're going to go ahead and rotate this one. Now you can hit R. You can hit R and that'll be your rotate. Or I'm sorry, E. So this is how I'd figure it out. If I have problems with not knowing which way to turn my thing, what I do is I look at the numbers over here. Well, over here, and it'll tell you exactly what side's moving.
I can't take back. Don't worry, I haven't. Don't do that.
So I just put 90 degrees in there and now it's centered. And in the next video I'm going to move the other doorknob and make a copy of it.